Welcome to another episode of How to ABX. It is Silent Season 9/12/2023. It is Universal Villain Day. So, if you've seen these before, let's just talk about the rotation, show it, and if you want to stick around, I'll give you some more info. I'm going to be using Jean Grey today with the Rage. Basically, I'm going to be spamming all of her skills. Let me show you that in action, and then we'll talk about some more. Alright, switching right to Jean, running up, I like to do a 4-2-1, 5 for a second, 3 for a second, 7 as soon as it's ready, and then I'm just going to spam. As soon as they come off cooldown, I'm going to spam them. Note, I can cancel today with both the 4 and the 6, so as long as you have one of those, you're in good shape. You do not need to let the 6 play out and have the wings pop. You're welcome to do so if you would like, but I don't see my score going up by doing that. I actually seem like I have a higher score if I just instantly cancel that 6. So do what you want, but I would experiment with both rotations at least 5 times to see what feels the best to you. It seems like you are getting buffs on your 6, and you get them right away. So by instantly canceling them, you're still getting the value of getting those buffs, and then you're also cooling that skill down super fast to use again. So that's why I say don't even worry about it. Roar timers you don't really got to pay attention to, because for the most part, you will have your skills ready. Just be aware that if you do not have your 4 ready or your 6, you're not going to be able to cancel. Roar timers are at 209, 126 on Silent Season, and then 38. That would be that timer in the top left corner there if you're not familiar with it. As you can see here, it's just pretty much spam, and I'm staying with Jean the whole time. You don't really do swaps today. Most days you're actually not going to want to swap, besides for maybe Female Combat Day. That's the only time you're really going to swap cancel with ABX. ABL, it's a little bit more common to do a swap cancel. But alright, he's about to jump center again. We got 4-second cooldown on the 4. And once he jumps and turns, we just pretty much want to start spamming all the skills again. Pop right there. Boom, there's the next cancel. Pretty easy. Jean is probably one of the highest scoring PvE characters in the game, especially with this Dark Phoenix uniform. I do say that I see higher scores when I'm playing with my Magneto, and Magneto does not have as nice of a CTP as Jean does, which you'll see here after this run. Alright, 38's the last one for that last roar. Always get your roar cancels in, or your score is not going to be anywhere near as high as it could be. Alright, he's going to jump center. I've got 4 seconds left for the cooldown, so I should be in good shape on 4. Okay, as soon as he turns, I'm going to start attacking again. Pop the 4 right around there, and we're in good shape. So now we're just bringing in the money at this point. Get that score as high as we can. Typically with Jean, for my account and my build, I typically see about 14 to 15 million. And it looks like I'm going to break that 14 million, so... Oh, yep, there's that 14 million. I'll get up a little bit higher. I typically don't see 15 million with my Jean, but I do get close to it. Magneto I do see over 15 million on, which is why I'm saying typically I see a little bit higher with him. Let me write down my score because I like to track my progress. Alright, 14,391,398. Alright, some really quick additional information. I'm not going to take long on it. I just like to show my cards and X swords just so you can see why my account is doing what it's doing. I'll show you my Jean build, then I'll talk about team and alternate teams. Really quick, here is the cards. So there are my cards. Pause if you want to read that. Here are my X swords. Alright, let's get a Jean. So Jean is sporting the Dark Phoenix uniform. It is mythic. I do have all the items here set up to basically give her the highest stats possible, but I'll just go ahead and show you those uniform options in case you don't want to look them up elsewhere. All of mine are mythic but one, but that doesn't matter too much. Obviously, if it's mythic options, it'll increase that score. I've got a brilliant CTP of Rage on her. That's right, it's a brilliant. And I have it in Rage, which I feel is better than the all attack. It's at 1.2% of basic damage per 1%. I've got an order +7. I have an ISO 8 set and overdrive. All of these need to be 6 red stars so you can get the most out of your attack sets, but overdrive, Hawkeyes, or Power the Anger Hulk are all fine. You should base it upon what your account needs for your character, or what you can roll first. I do have Black Widow. Black Widow tends to be the best striker when it comes to running ABX, so I typically will switch to Black Widow. I do have a tier 4 Black Widow with a rage. Your striker being more powerful does have you score more. I do have all of my stuff amplified, including some Odin's Blessings on my gear here. If you were going to put Uru on, make sure they're at least 5 stars. All of mine are 6. Here's the overall details page for her. I do have a lot of the items capped. I wish I had capped attack speed and movement speed, but those aren't as critical as the rest of these are. So just kind of work with this, and remember that your attack doesn't cap, so you can put as much as you want into attack. I've got 98,000 right now. Let's talk about the team, some alternate options for today, and people I would consider running instead of Jean if you don't have Jean Dark Phoenix. So, Alliance Battle. I have Hela because of the 60% energy attack. I'm running Morgan Le Fay specifically with the Fallen Souls, and I'm giving her my insight. With the Fallen Souls uniform, if you go to the uniform options, she's going to increase damage dealt by 35% for universal types, which Jean with her Dark Phoenix is a universal type, and all basic attacks by 35% as well. So the kind of a double whammy going on there. Really solid character to use, but you do need that Fallen Souls if you want to use her as a support. Other options that you can consider today: Black Bolt. If you have the Fallen Souls Black Bolt uniform and a rage on him, he is a fantastic option for today. If you don't have Jean, Jean does outscore him. Thanos with his Harvester uniform here, the Wise Harvester with a rage, also does pretty decent. Both of them are self-lead, so you can double support them. Again, we talked about support options. So if you were to run Black Bolt here, you could have Morgan Le Fay with Fallen Souls, and then probably put Proxima Midnight if you have her Dark Obsidian armor. If you go to the Dark Obsidian armor here under uniform effects for supervillain, she gives this 40% damage dealt. Now that is better than Morgan Le Fay's, but remember Morgan Le Fay also gives 35% all attack as well, so it's 35 and 35 versus just the 40. So the combination, in my opinion, makes Morgan Le Fay a better support option. But again, if you were to run with Black Bolt, this would be a great team for Black Bolt, also for Wise Harvester, because they have that self-leadership going on here. Now, out of all of these options, I would say Jean is number 1, followed by Black Bolt, followed by Thanos. The other folks that I would consider if you had none of those options is Loki would be the next consideration, and then possibly Supergiant as long as you have the uniforms. Marvel Studios Loki TVA is a little bit better, but the President Loki one does good as well. All they need is a tier 3, of course. He is a rage character, whereas Supergiant is going to be a judgment character. Jean can use judgment or rage. I find that she does better with rage, and I have a brilliant rage, so I'm leaving that on her. But Supergiant with the Dark Obsidian armor is a pretty decent choice for today as well. Those are the only people I would consider running for today, and those are the support and lead options that I would think about. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful for you. I hope you have a good one, and may your ABX scores be as high as possible. Catch you next time.